happy people! Today I'll be reviewing the new LEGO Lord of the Rings Barad-Dûr LEGO set releasing on June 1st. This set is 5,741 pieces and it's going to retail for $459.99 USD. Before I get started, thanks so much to the LEGO group for sending this set over to me for review. As always, all thoughts and opinions are my own. As a quick disclaimer here, I might say Barad-Dûr throughout this review just because I am speaking English and it just rolls off the tongue easier. I promise it does not mean I am any less of a Lord of the Rings fan if I say Barad-Dûr over Barad-Dûr. Alrighty, so this LEGO set came with 3 instruction booklets, and I love what they did here, where they put the photo of what you're building in the front of the booklet. So the first booklet is obviously like the foundation of the tower, which is the forge and the dungeons on the inside. The second booklet is the second level of the tower, and they've made a little dining hall inside of it, with the third and final booklet being the rest of the height of the tower, which includes Sauron's throne room, a study with a library, and of course the Great Eye of Sauron. My favorite part about instruction booklets on larger LEGO sets like these is the blurbs you learn about the build and design from the design team. In these blurbs, they explain how they took some liberties with some different scenes that could transpire inside the tower, like I said, like the dining hall and the library and the study, because it's technically things that we haven't seen or we don't know are in there. This set included 14 stickers, and most of them were larger stickers that would add detail to the background of the inside of the set that you just couldn't otherwise do so easily with LEGO bricks. Let's go over the minifigure lineup before we get into the set, starting with Gollum, who has been completely redesigned, and he has a whole new face print decoration. It looks like they used droid arms for his arms. Just a really great looking figure here. He even gets a little bit of cloth for his backside, and don't worry, the front side too. I just think he looks excellent. Frodo Baggins minifigure, of course. Here he is pictured with a smile. Are these dual molded legs? Of course they're dual molded legs. His second face print has those white pupils, and of course he is holding the One Ring. Good old Samwise Gamgee holding the Phial of Galadriel. Remember, he finds it after Frodo loses it, after he loses the battle to Shelob. Is it Shelob? Shelob? The giant spider. And he's also holding, I think this is supposed to be Sting, right? Now let's look at our orc selection. We have 2 of these green orcs. So the same face, but they do have different patterns on their torsos on the front side and the back sides. We have this like nougat colored orc too. And then this nougat colored orc who has a headband, and he has a sausage at the end of the stick because he's in the dining hall putting some meat on the table. And then there is a minifigure of Gothmog, or as I like to call him, Pigface. I was never good at remembering like the names of the orcs growing up, so I made up like nicknames like them like that. He has a really cool armor / chest piece that you put on over his torso. The minifigure head print does not quite capture the pig-facedness, but you know, limitations and all that. Now, probably the highlights for most people in this LEGO set, starting off with the Mouth of Sauron, a brand new minifigure mold for him, and he looks menacing and creepy AF. Here's a look at the head print detail underneath his helm. Truly a great print here. He gets a cloth cape and one of those soft helmet head molds. And of course, for the first time ever in minifigure form, Sauron, which honestly, it's extremely bizarre to me that there has never been a Sauron minifigure before. Here's his head mold underneath the helm, and honestly, it's quite cute. Menacingly cute, of course. He is also given a cape and a soft helmet mold that comes attached to shoulder armor padding, and it all goes over his torso. Oh, and then he's holding this really cool looking mace. Something to note, this is an all new family pack of helmets that were made specifically for this model. And you actually get a few extra of these. So if you want, you can put 2 of them on Sam and Frodo, like when they disguise themselves once they're in Mordor trying to get to Mount Doom. The shields in this set are also a new design made specifically for this model. And they look pretty cool. On to this LEGO set. The first thing you actually build is this sort of vignette of some rocks and lava, and that's meant to depict the moment when Sam and Frodo get to the top and the inside of Mount Doom to drop the One Ring. I may not display this just because it's so tiny compared to how large the tower looks, but it is a pretty cool little inclusion, I guess. So let's reel it in and take a closer look at the first floor of the tower. So many different colored elements come together out here, like orange and yellow and red, layered with translucent yellows, oranges, and reds. Fun fact, they actually recolored the 1x4 in translucent orange specifically for this set. I think there's something like 60 and change in this set. There's also a lot of these colors. I think these colors are dark orange and medium nougat. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I really love like the different colors that are used down here, especially because this would otherwise be just a very dark looking set. I also appreciate that the exterior uses dark brown. You can see here there's like black, goes to dark brown, goes to brown. just to break apart all the blackness. These angles and curves are achieved by the use of those, 1x2 hinge bricks. It was pretty satisfying putting them in place. The gates of the tower were really cool to build. Everything out here, like the pillars, just looks so sharp. These profile bricks to add texture. I just think it was such a job well done to make this like menacing look as you're approaching the tower, right? A really cool feature, honestly, over here on the right side of the tower, left if you're facing the tower, there is a knob disguised as a stone. And if you turn it, the front gates open into the forge and the dungeons. So let's turn this over and take a look at the inside of the first floor of the tower. A really morbid detail here with the remains of a prior guest into the dungeons hanging over the lava in this cage here. And if you wanted to raise and lower the cage over the lava, you could just turn this little gear here. Then of course the weapons forge, where we see some of those awesome new helmets and shields throughout. Up here at the center you can see is where you build the mechanism that opens and closes the gate. Then over on this corner there's a little hidden cave with a fish in it. The instruction booklet said it's supposed to be like Gollum's hiding cave. And if you pull the stone above the cave, there's a spider in there. I like to think it's a callback to Shelob or Shelob. I honestly have no idea how you're supposed to say it. The giant spider. I think it's supposed to be a callback to her, but there was nothing indicating that in the instruction booklet, so that's just going to be my headcanon. On to the next level of this dark tower. This was, I don't know how much you can tell, but this was the lightest booklet. It was book 2, and it was just this floor. On the exterior, we get more of these textured profile 1x2 black bricks. Some smaller pillars with gradients that are nice. Like, I think this is dark orange again, dark brown, regular brown. Again, just nice to have some gradient and color to break up all of this black and really add dimension to the exterior. On the flip side, we can see that this level houses the dining hall. An orc's gotta eat meat! I need to stop making the meat joke. So over on this corner, there's these like keg-like shaped things, except they're dripping green goo, I guess. So gross. On the backside wall, that's a sticker back there. It says menu, and then there's a piece of meat under it. I think it's so funny how that's become a meme throughout the years, and like they included it in here. And of course, there's lots of meat on the table. There's like a sausage, there's a couple of bones, a couple of chicken legs. Over on this other corner, there is a pot of stew over some molten lava, and a small little Easter egg hidden on the side of this build. If you pull on these rocks over here, it reveals the ring designs of the 3 elven rings of power. That's about it for the second level of the tower. One thing to note, you'll see that there's these like guardrail pieces on the sides of this floor, and that's meant to make it easy for this to slide into the first floor of the tower. But I'm gonna wait until the end to show you how it all comes together. Now onto the final part of the tower that you build. This is the third booklet. The LEGO instruction booklets like to call this the base of the tower. I want to call the first floor the base of the tower, but for all intents and purposes, let's call this the base of the tower because that's what the booklets are saying. On the exterior over here, there's rocks. I believe they're there because this tower was built on the side of a mountain. Something I thought was really cool about this LEGO set in general was just how many parts were recolored in black to make it happen. One such example is these spears up here near the top of the eye. And then this texture here in the center. These are like blade weapons that were also recolored in black just for this set. Super cool! All of the windows have like orange inside of them. I think it's just orange is fire, orange is menacing. Turning this around to see the interior, actually I am going to remove this skinny part of the tower for now and just focus on Sauron's throne room. Stickers are used for these black and red banners next to the throne. And pulling on this Lego part right here reveals the hidden room in the throne room, which houses the Palantir. This brand new printed brick is so cool, it depicts 2 images in the Palantir. In the background of the room as well, I don't know how well you can see it, but there's like a map of Middle-earth, and they're supposed to depict Sauron's plans to conquer Middle-earth or something, I don't know. Tell me why, but Sauron just looks so cute sitting on his throne. I just thought you guys should see this. Above Sauron's throne room is a study. The instruction booklet seems to indicate that these are the quarters of the mouth of Sauron, which I think is just pretty precious to think about. There's these shelves in the study that feature a new decoration of a window insert element, and it's these parchment scrolls. I thought that was a really cool new printed part. There's a little writing station here, so I guess Mouth of Sauron uses this area to write all of his evil letters to Saruman and Isengard. And there's a little folded up mithril, which is just a little callback to Return of the King, where, he claims that Frodo is dead because he has his little mithril. Oh, and then there's a sticker above the study of Sauron with the one ring. It's just like, that is so cute. Above the study is a library, which I'm sure houses all sorts of dark, secretive magic knowledge and things like that. More stickers line the interior there. Like I said, it's just a really tight space in there. It would be pretty hard to accomplish like details like that in such a confined space. I'm also a very big fan of this rotating sliding ladder, especially in such a confined space. Now, of course, we've finally made it to the very top of the tower, the Eye of Sauron. It looks so cool. Like, I just honestly don't have enough words apparently in my vocabulary. Everything is cool and amazing. These spiky rubber parts, like in 2 colors, I just didn't even know that this was possible. The eye having the capability to like move up and down and like side to side, it can even move backwards. There's also a light brick installed back here to sort of light up the Eye of Sauron, but like it only lights up the bottom of the eye, I guess. I don't see myself taking too much advantage of the light up brick capability, to be honest. Like, it looks so cool on its own, but I appreciate the effort. And so a fun fact that they write in the instruction booklet, you can buy multiple copies of this set since, you know, this Lego set is so affordable and cheap, and remake this tower section because of its modular style and then stack it up as high as you want. I will say the number of people that I've had complain that it's not a fully built out tower, that it's open on the backside, maybe those same people want to buy 2 copies and build their own backside of the tower and then make it taller. I personally think this Lego set looks great as it is, and I love that it's open on the backside because of the cool details that you get of the interior. But anyways, I digress. The moment we've all been waiting for, let's stack the 3 pieces of the tower together. So here is the bottom part of the tower. This is the second part of the tower, the dining hall that I showed you earlier. And let me show you just how easily it slides in. Such a pleasant click. This third section similarly has these guardrail parts and also slides in very easily. So this tower stands at 32.6 inches or 83 centimeters tall. Unfortunately, I do not have the Tower of Orthanc Lego set from 2013, but I can tell you that Barad-Dûr is taller by 10 centimeters. If you have the Avengers Tower Lego set, the Avengers Tower is just slightly taller by 7 centimeters. So what do I think about this Lego set? I think it's phenomenal. I think the designers did such an incredible job with this Lego set, with the creative liberties that they took with the interiors, with the minifigure lineup, like holy cow. I think it's one of my favorite Lego sets of the year by far. And I have to tell you, there was nothing like marathoning all the Lord of the Rings movies, extended versions of course. I also watched all of the Rings of Power. It was just so cool to like immerse yourself while you're building this set. And I really took my time building the set too, because I wanted to enjoy it. Lord of the Rings is something I grew up with and have been a fan of for, I don't know, 25 years since I first picked up a book or watched the first movie when it came out. It's crazy how long it's been a part of my life. And so getting this Lego set, getting Rivendell released last year, it's a dream come true as a fan of Lego and Lord of the Rings. At $460, this is an expensive Lego set. There is no getting around that. But this would have been 100% a day one purchase for me, especially because there is a GWP, gift with purchase, Lego set 40693, which unfortunately I do not have in hand yet. And it's the Fell Beast. And you can only get it by purchasing this Lego set. It's a little unfair, especially for those wanting to hold off on buying this Lego set or asking for it for the holidays or Christmas and things like that, because I do think it's going to be a very highly sought after GWP. And just for your information, the GWP will be available from June 1st through 7th, only with the purchase of this Lego set while supplies last. All right, if you've made it this far, please hit that thumbs up button. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I want to know what you think about this Lego set and if it's something that you're going to be adding to your collection.